The federal Liberals are doubling down their attacks on farmers, small business people, well, and even your family doctor. The federal Liberals' proposed tax changes to corporations stand to devastate the Canadian middle class. But the Liberals, they say they're just closing loopholes with regard to who can become a shareholder in a company, who can qualify as an employee in a company. And the Liberals say they're attacking the practice of income sprinkling or spreading money amongst family members for tax purposes in small businesses. Normal people call this working in the family business. The latest Liberal MP to try to defend his government's tax grab was Robert Falcon Willett. He's a Liberal MP for the riding of Winnipeg Centre, and he has said some crazy things at his Liberal caucus retreat over the weekend. Willett said he was 100% on board with his government's plan, saying, get this, how much income does one really need to earn in life in order to have a good life? Okay, that is socialist and wacky, but he wasn't done yet. Then Willett said, you can't have people sitting behind in their gated communities and saying, well, let them eat cake. Wow. How out of touch are these Liberals? They're sitting at their taxpayer-funded caucus retreat telling us we've made too much money. Their tax plan stands to hammer over 1/4 of all family farms in Canada. And the farmers, well, they're too busy harvesting their apparent tax shelters to fight back, while the urban Liberals are calling them lazy. But this all got me thinking. I thought I'd do a little research of my own. I wanted to know exactly who it is who thinks the backbone of the Canadian economy, these small business people, are lazy and greedy. And I don't like to talk about politicians' personal lives. I think they're entitled to have a personal life without the rest of us being nosy. But Finance Minister Bill Morneau, by bringing in these tax changes the way he is and selling them the way he is, well, he made this personal. Do you even know who Bill Morneau is and where he comes from? Well, this is his house. It looks like it has a pretty big gate, some place where you could probably hide and eat a bunch of cake. Now, before entering politics, Morneau earned $1 million a year in salary and held $30 million in stocks at his family business, a human resources consulting firm once called W.F. Morneau and Associates. It later became Chappell Morneau, and it was handed off to Bill Morneau by his father, just like those greedy small business owners would love to do one day by naming their own children to be shareholders of their own companies. Now let's talk about Bill Morneau's wife, Nancy McCain. She's a billionaire French fry heiress who inherited enormous wealth without ever having to work a day for it, and whose family regularly pays out large tax-free dividends to family members. Oh, and while farm kids slave away on the farm all winter so that they may one day just inherit a piece of it, Bill Morneau sent his kids to the Crestwood Prep College. He's even featured on the school brochure. The French documents here show a French shell company that Bill Morneau and his wife Nancy McCain set up to maintain their real estate holdings. As in, they don't own their real estate holdings personally, their company does, for tax purposes. Here's the thing, I don't begrudge Morneau and his crispy fry queen their wealth. Someone earned it and they can give it to them for nothing if they want. But I have a real problem with people who didn't earn their wealth attacking people who are just trying their best every single day to earn theirs. You know what this all reminds me of? Remember that time that Chrystia Freeland was sitting beside Justin Trudeau when she said this?
It's increasingly the case that your job prospects are correlated not with how hard you work, not with how well you do in school, but with the job that your father had.
Yeah, these Liberals are always guilty of exactly what they accuse others of. Trudeau is only Prime Minister because his father was. Morneau is only wealthy because his father was. His wife is only wealthy because her family was. And that's all fine for them and their shell companies and tax havens to protect their wealth. But the rest of us just trying to get a little piece of the Canadian dream, we have to live with the libel of being called tax cheats and swindlers by people who've never had to work as hard as we will to build our companies and our farms from the ground up. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid. The mainstream media wants us to shut up. The internet censors want to shut us down. But if you believe in freedom of speech, go to standwiththerebel.com.